A flashback in the quantum realm opens the movie. Two entities that Janet and Dyne encounters attack her. She kills one, but the other pounces on her. Someone blows its head off before it can finish her. A second man appears to have crash-landed in the realm alongside Janet when she turns around. Scott Lang has been savoring his newfound fame in the present after assisting the Avengers in saving the planet from Thanos, although at least one person mistakes him for Spider-Man. Hope Van Dyne, who has since taken over her father Hank's business, has been employing PIM particles to advance her research and apply it globally. A best-selling book on Scott's adventures is also available. But his absence from Cassie has also resulted from his being trapped in the quantum realm. Scott receives a call from the prison, where he meets Hope. When she attended a rally, Cassie was detained. Since the blip, she has also been experimenting with science and has even started working with Hope and Hank, who Cassie refers to as Grandpa Hank. Over supper, Scott and Cassie visit the Pims at their house, and Hank unintentionally reveals that Cassie has been detained more than once. She points off the work they have been doing, such as Cassie's work on a gadget that can send messages to the quantum realm and also receive signals from the outer world, and Hank's ant farm with his intelligent ants. Janet becomes alarmed and turns the device off. The device reactivates and begins drawing everything and everyone within before she has a chance to explain herself. As they plunge into the quantum realm, Scott dives in after Cassie to save her. He does this by donning his Ant-Man outfit. Hope saves her parents by wearing her Wasp suit. As Janet works to hide them from view, the Pims congregate. Janet encounters residents who discover them. Janet and the Beast laugh it off like old friends after a brief skirmish with one of the occupants. Later, she is successful in securing a ride for her family on a big flying object. Other residents of the quantum realm, ranging from humanoids to several alien-like creatures, discover the Langs. To comprehend the locals, Scott and Cassie must consume a red liquid called ooze that comes from one of the animals, Veb. They are welcomed by Quaz, a mind-reading local, and Gentora, a rebel warrior who fears that the Langs and Pimp's presence would attract the attention of someone they refer to as the Conqueror. Scott brings up Janet's name, and Gentora becomes more wary. Hank and Hope follow Janet to a bar crowded with other locals from Quantum. They encounter Lord Kryler, a man Janet befriended, and may have been romantically involved with, while she was stranded there. Kryler informs Janet that he works for Kang, the already mentioned Conqueror, as she tries to enlist his assistance. Kang's most potent weapon, a mechanized organism created only for killing, is another reference made by Kryler, MODOK. As Kang's goons arrive to capture the Pims, they fight their way out, and Hank uses one of his expanding discs to make a squid monster enormous in order to grab and hurl Kryler around. The family then escapes by stealing his ship. Before MODOK appears and starts to vaporize some of the rebels, Kang's men strike the rebels shortly after. Cassie says she has been using her own super suit to help her shrink and expand during the commotion. Darren Cross, who survived his struggle with Scott when he went subatomic and destroyed his yellow jacket suit, is revealed by MODOK as Scott and Cassie. Cross's body was twisted, leaving him as a huge head with tiny limbs and a stretched-out face. He was also the one who signaled Cassie, and she answered. The two are then brought to Kang by MODOK. Janet tells Hank and Hope the truth about her stay there as they are leaving. When she first met Kang, he gave her the notion that he was another lost traveler and that she could assist him power his spacecraft so that they could escape the quantum realm, while also promising to bring her back to Hope. Janet discovered his ship's core and discovered that it was fueled by his thoughts. She was able to see into Kang's head when she touched the core, where she saw all the crimes he had performed, including erasing entire worlds and disrupting timelines. Kang tried to win Janet over by promising to make sure she never missed Hope's upbringing, but she was aware that doing so would mean other worlds would suffer as a result of him. Knowing he was a monster, Janet stole the core using her Wasp suit, blowing it up to an enormous size to stop either herself or Kang from fleeing. Kang, who boasts of having slain previous Avengers in several eras, is introduced to Scott and Cassie. He begs Scott for assistance in recovering his core and threatens to kill Cassie and have Scott repeat the incident forever if Scott refuses. Scott grudgingly agrees but makes it clear that if Kang damages Cassie, he will come after him. In order to collect it, Scott is thrown down into the core, but while there, he is caught in what MODOK refers to as a probability storm, which causes hundreds of duplicate Scotts to appear. When Hope detects Scott, the PIMs fly by the area. Her own probability envelop her as she glides down to assist. As preserving Cassie is their only shared objective, Scott's probabilities do manage to assist him. Scott is assisted by Hope, and together they reduce the core. Now that Scott has the core, Hope and Janet try to assist him, but Kang arrives and steals it from him, breaking their agreement to let Cassie free. In addition, he brings Janet along and orders MODOK to shoot down the spacecraft carrying Hank. When Janet calls Kang a monster, he responds that among his many variations, he is the exiled one and that he feels they are to blame for other horrors around the multiverse. He believes that by leaving the quantum realm, he will be able to intervene in an impending disaster that will affect humanity. The ants from Hank's ant farm come, having presumably experienced time dilation that has allowed them to advance more quickly than what humans have. They aid Hank in guiding Scott and Hope to Kang's stronghold. In the meantime, Cassie shrinks into a jail using her armor, releasing Gentora and the other rebels to storm Kang's tower. Cassie interrupts Kang's attempt to deliver a rousing speech about how evil he is, ordering everyone to go to the tower to confront Kang. After being set free, the remaining rebels take on Kang's thugs. MODOK tries to attack Cassie, but she transforms into a giant and knocks him out. She persuades him that he doesn't have to continue being bad before she departs. As Scott sprints enragedly toward Kang for breaking their agreement, he gets enormous. When he sees Cassie again, he is pleased to see that she is also a giant. A massive mecha ant and the ants follow Hank as they head for the tower. Kang leads his own assault against the rebels, while MODOK launches his own assault after switching allegiances. He decides to pass away as Darren, and the heroes support him as he passes away. The heroes enter the tower, where Janet has fixed Kang's core and created a portal back to their starting point. Cassie is pushed through by Scott seconds as Kang attacks him. They fight viciously, with Scott nearly being beaten to a pulp by Kang. Hope jumps back to help Scott fight as Kang tries to jump through the portal. They use numerous growing, shrinking discs on the core to overpower Kang and kill it. Kang is pushed by Hope toward the core, where he is sucked onto a doorway leading to oblivion. While the quantum locals applaud Scott and Hope for winning, Cassie is able to reopen the portal to assist them in returning home. Scott goes back to his life and his family, but he is troubled by what Kang said about a bad tragedy happening soon. Although he missed some of Cassie's actual birthday due to the blip, he dismisses it as meaningless and joins the family to celebrate a fake birthday for her. In the middle of the credits, a council of Kang variations deliberates the passing of the exiled one and gets ready to launch each of them into the multiverse in anticipation of a major conflict. After credits scene, Victor Timely, another incarnation of Kang, is seen instructing a class in the early 19th century. No other than Agent Mobius and Loki are seated among the students. Mobius is informed by Loki that this man poses a very serious threat. Scott Lang, Ant-Man, has been luxuriating in his newfound fame after helping the Avengers save the universe, while Hope Van Dyne, the Wasp, has been making progress in her scientific research. Scott only regrets missing Cassie's life and being imprisoned in the quantum realm for so long. Since then, she has developed a scientific interest and has been working with Hope's parents Hank and Janet. But, the five of them are lured into the quantum realm by a contraption that Cassie made that sends a signal there. Scott and Cassie encounter some locals in the quantum realm who are rebels engaged in conflict with a bad guy by the name of Kang the Conqueror. Janet made friends with Kang while she was down there because she thought he was another lost traveler who needed assistance returning home and would have helped Janet connect with Hope and Hank. But, she discovered that he had committed many crimes against humanity throughout the cosmos, erasing worlds and timelines as he saw appropriate. In order to prevent either of them from escaping, Janet detonated Kang's ship core. As Scott damaged his suit and had him banished to the quantum dimension, Darren Cross, Yellow Jacket became deformed and Kang sent MODOK to rescue Scott and Cassie, then forces Scott to retrieve the core or he will kill Cassie. Hope assists Scott in locating the core, but Kang breaks his word and refuses to release Cassie. By using her own supersuit to escape, Cassie sets the rebels free to assault Kang's tower. To transport them home, Janet uses Kang's core to open a portal, and Hank joins the battle with some super ants. Before Cassie can send them home, Scott fights Kang to stop him from escaping, and with Hope's assistance, they smash the core and make Kang disappear. Scott gets back to his life, but he still worries that Kang's threat is just getting started. As it turns out, a council of Kang variations learns of the passing of one of their own and prepares to launch each of them into the multiverse in preparation for an impending conflict.